The beginning of the world was Dreamtime. At first nothing grew and nothing moved. All of the animals lay in the earth, still, quiet and sleeping. One day the giant rainbow serpent awoke in her cave deep under the ground. She pushed her way out, pushing rocks out of her way, making valleys and mountains. Water poured in where the land was moved in some places, making rivers and lakes as she travelled over the land.
As the Mother of the Earth moved, she awoke all the Gurangulch tribes one by one. These creatures were part animal, part man or woman. She gave all the animals homes to live in, and she made all the laws. If they broke the law, she could turn them into stone. We can see those stones today. They remind us not to break the law. When Bunyip ate the young of the other tribes, she turned him into a water spirit who always lived alone in the billabongs.
Finally, the mother serpent made the tribes into people. To each tribe she gave them a totem animal. The totem animal of your tribe is sacred. You cannot hunt or eat that creature, because your totem animal is your brother or your sister from who you are descended. And towards who you show respect, responsibility and cooperate with by living in harmony and respecting their home, the land and the water.
In a long time ago, in Gurangulch times, the Gurangulch animal people were powerful and clever. They could make mountains and rivers, split rocks apart, and do other magic things.
I'll tell you about one of these magic people. He was part fish, eel, reptile and man. His name was Gurangulch. The place where he liked to camp was a big deep waterhole called Mirrangang, where the Wollondilly and Wujikarabi rivers now meet. His favourite place to lie was in the shallow water near the bank where the sun warms the water of the billabong.
One day Mirrangang, who was also a Gurangulch, part quoll, part native cat, and a great fisherman, caught a glimpse of Gurangulch's eye, shining like a star through the water. Mirrangang tried to spear him, but Gurangulch escaped deep into the water at the centre of the billabong.
Mirrangang went into the bush and cut a lot of water bark and stacked it in heaps under the water, all around the waterhole. Mirrangang knew that some hickory water bark is poisonous and can make water creatures come to the surface. Gurangulch was so large that the poison was not strong enough for him.
Mirrangang was so disappointed and annoyed that he went back to the bush, cut more of the water bark, and began stacking it around the billabong. Gurangulch saw what he was up to. This time he swam off at such a great speed that he tore up the ground, creating the Wollondilly River Valley. The water from the billabong went rushing along after him, splashing and spilling up the newly formed banks for a long way. Gurangulch then took a really sharp turn and started tunneling. He came out on a high rocky ridge and poked his head out on one side of the valley at Rocky Waterhole, when there were many little fish called sprats swimming in schools. When he came up out of the water, Gurangulch poked his tongue out, which flashed like lightning.
When he looked, he could see that Mirrangang was following his trail. He went back into his tunnel and continued to burrow. It was hard to tunnel here because it was so rocky. He managed to create a long, deep loop in the Wollondilly. He continued up what is now known as Jock's Creek to its source, and there, because he was a great magician, he made the water go uphill. Because he was so strong, he then burrowed right under the mountain, coming out at a place now known as Wombean Caves.
When Mirrangang saw that Gurangulch had escaped, he went searching for him and worked out that he was underground in the caves. Mirrangang did not like to go underground, so he went on top of the rocks and started digging a hole as deep as he could go. Then he found a big stick and poked it down as far as it would reach. He dug another and another, trying to frighten Gurangulch out of his hiding place. You can still see those holes today on top of where the caves are.
Gurangulch decided to travel further along out of the caves because Mirrangang was still trying to catch him. He did so during the daylight, escaping with the water coming roaring after him. Mirrangang's family lived nearby, and when they heard the water rushing and saw it splashing, they were terrified and began running up the side of the hill. Mirrangang's wife began yelling at Mirrangang when she could see him. "Stop chasing that powerful Gurangulch, Mirrangang. He's too big and strong. Stop meddling with the Gurangulch. It is too dangerous." She begged him to give up the chase, but he wouldn't listen. Mirrangang was stubborn. He continued to chase after the Gurangulch.
At a place now called Slippery Rock, Mirrangang caught up to Gurangulch. There they fought a battle for a long time. If you go there today, you can see their great bodies have made the rocks smooth. The clever Gurangulch got away and went downward. Down, 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 with the water flowing after him in a great torrent. His tail hit Mirrangang heavily as he went.
Gurangulch went a great distance, all the way to the meeting place of Katoomba and Clocks Creeks. This is now known as Katoomba. There he rested in the deep water hole.
Meanwhile, Mirrangang was near Binamil, Janolan Caves. He too was tired from all the travelling and the battles, and he laid down on a little hill to sleep. When he awoke, he sniffed out all the hiding places where Gurangulch had been. He found tracks in the mud of his enemy and family and friends, where they had taken him away to the deep water hole Julandu. Mirrangang, seeing that family and friends had helped Gurangulch, felt that he too was missing his family and friends. Mirrangang travelled west to be with those that he loved. They were feasting on roasted eels when he found them, offering him an eel because they could see he was weary and hungry. Mirrangang said to them, No, this is too small of a thing for me to eat. I'm chasing a great big eel, and I want you to come help me."
As Gurangulch was in a deep water hole, Mirrangang asked for the best divers in the camp. Bilgula the shagbird, Gulangulch the diver, Gunharan the black duck, and Guharan the wood duck were selected. When Mirrangang returned to Julandu with his expert divers, the black duck dived into the pool, but returned saying, "I could not see the bottom." The wood duck also dived, but without any success. The diver bold Gulangulch was the next to go down, and after a while emerged with only a small eel in its beak.
He said to Mirrangang,
"Is this what you're after?"
Mirrangang replied rudely.
"No, that's too small. Try again."
Gurangulch dived down a second time, and brought up another small eel. But Mirrangang would not look at it. Then Shag, being an expert diver, went down and saw Gurangulch, but could not hold on to him because his tail was jammed between the crevices of a small rock, and he could not shift it, but Gurangulch managed to pull off a piece of his flesh.
On reaching the surface, Mirrangang shouted with delight, "That's the piece of eel I was chasing." When the meat was cooked, Mirrangang and his diver friends had a great feast before returning to their homes. All along the course of the Wollondilly, as well as the Cox River, there are big waterholes which are Gurangulch's resting places. They are still inhabited by the descendants of Gurangulch.